Welcome to Clixed Off, brought to you by Lucky Dice Cafe out of Huntsville, Alabama. Check them out at luckydicecafé.com. And now for your hosts, Daniel Powell, Jason Alvey, Alex Coos, and Tyler Spees.
Hey everybody, welcome to Clixed Off today. This is your host Daniel Powell speaking. Just want to let everybody know that Clixed Off is brought to you by TrollandToad.com, the world's largest HeroClix retailer. Find HeroClix new and old on TrollandToad.com and use 5% off. Or use coupon code CLIXEDOFF for 5% off your HeroClix order at Troll and Toad. Merchant and pre-order items do not apply. If you like what you're listening to today on Clixed Off, check us out at patreon.com/ClixedOff. $1 and above gets entered into our monthly giveaways. $5 and above gets entered into our Discord server for HeroClix strategy and tactics discussion. And specifically, welcome to Clixed Off After Dark. However, this is going to be the segment that starts off the show. We have a great modern age discussion from our Red, White, and Clix event planned for tonight's episode. A really great discussion. Wes ran a great event alongside PJ. I guess I should say Wes Robertson organized a great event, and PJ judged and ran a fantastic event along with Danielle's help. Danielle did the scorekeeping, and PJ ran an awesome event. So we have a lot of great experiences to talk to you about on the Red, White, and Clix modern front. I debated even recording this part of Clixed Off After Dark. Because it was like, do we really need to? Should we just be quiet about it? Should we just stop? And it all came down to this one factor for me. And I'll explain. We'll get there. Clixed Off After Dark today is an episode about Silver Age and where Clixed Off stands on the Silver Age format. Or more specifically, probably where I stand on the Silver Age format and where Jason comes from. Now, the whole debate comes from, should we just stop saying anything about it and just be la-di-da about it, right? Just be happy, go lucky about it. And I'll tell you why. Clixed Off got their hands slapped for talking about silver in a negative light. We got our hands slapped, and the hand slapper used leverage that wondered why we were asking things in a certain way with certain folks involved with the show, and my position as a former rock champion talking bad about Silver Age format. And with that perspective, I know that this person will listen to the show, and I'll get some feedback about this. And but here's the thing, and as you listen to Clixed Off, and this has been something that's near and dear to me since 2016 when I started the podcast, I joined up the podcast at episode 12. Clixed Off will never be a disingenuous podcast. We will never hide our feelings or hide the truth, or the truth as we see it, I guess in this case, or we will never hide what we think about something or what we think will grow the community the best because of a sponsor of the show. So I want y'all to be very careful, or be very conscientious when you listen to this episode of Clixed Off. I want to say, first of all, that Aaron Morgan has done a fantastic job of running Silver Age. We have talked about this. Jason has said this. We lead off every Silver Age discussion talking about how great Aaron is with the format. Additionally, WizKids has done a fantastic job responding to issues in the format. So the support for the format has been fantastic. There is no doubt in my mind that the folks that support Silver Age and run Silver Age for us as a community do a fantastic job doing all they can to run Silver Age. Additionally, with the issues that Silver Age have, you, as a player listening to this show, cannot stop supporting your local gaming store that's running states for Silver Age. You have to go out and support them. You have to play this format. It has been dictated to us as the format for 6 months of the year. From November to Rock Cup in May. We have to support our local venues. Our local venues cannot suffer or not get the money that they paid for the kits back out of them because Silver Age is a new player unfriendly format. So I've got a list of points. I haven't made a list of points for an episode in a long time. So let's wrap this all around. I want to talk about the intro to this segment again. I want to reiterate this. Let me rephrase that. Go to your local store and play states. Simple as that. No ifs, ands, or buts. Show up, support your store. Anytime your store runs an event, you be there no matter what. No matter what the format is. Silver, Golden Age, figures with brown hats on. You show up and support your local store. We'll repeat that. You heard that. Thirdly, fourthly, whatever, Aaron Morgan has done a great job supporting the format. Additionally, I think Howard has done a great job getting the WizKids provided prizing out and away for the format that makes the most amount of sense. But here we go. This is what I wanted to talk about. I have a list of technical reasons why, and an opinion, why Silver Age is not a great format. This doesn't mean I'm going to participate in 2 states the next 2 weeks, to be clear. I'm judging one. My local store is running estates. Are y'all clear on all of this? The folks that listen, you have to support Silver Age. We have to support it as a community to continue to be able to play and grow this community. Again, did you hear me? Just to be clear. First of all, Silver Age is not a new player-friendly format. It is my position that everything organized play within this community has to be new player format, for a new player friendly. We do not have thousands of players that play this game. Worlds was, almost 200 players, largest event of the year. We have to do everything possible to grow this community. Now, Silver Age is not new player friendly. And for the folks that say that that's okay, that there's not a new player friendly format, it just mind boggles me because we have to grow this community. I want every piece of this community to be new player friendly and to lower down the amount of negative play experiences that a new player might have. Now, Modern Age is crazy. Silver can be crazy. Sealed can even be crazy. Just playing at the kitchen table can be crazy. This game is a wonderfully complex game. The complexity of HeroClix is so fascinating and so fantastic. And it's a big curve to climb. Silver Age is a nearly impossible hill and curve to climb for new players. Let me talk about the technical reasons why that is true. Talk about the technical reasons that is true. The computer just froze on me, so I had to make sure the recording caught up. So, first of all, May of 2021, we got a change to the rules with the Wonder Woman 80 set. The biggest one of those was single target pulse wave no longer did damage value. A lot of the figures designed in Silver Age were designed with the ability that they could be single target pulse waved and erased off the map. It lowered down some of the entry of positioning complexity into the game that rule change did, but it just made some figures completely obnoxious to play against. That's a lot of your ranged mastermind figures, things like your big tent poles, even things that you run into like a dark side in the current format. We're recording after the first weekend of states here, and a 7 damage single target pulse wave to dark side makes him a whole lot less effective, right? Instead of 1 or 2 at a time, 1 plus the knockback. The change to pulse wave made a lot of older figures and even newer figures just insanely hard for any player to chew through. So that's my initial thought on pulse wave change, making figures not designed for a 1 damage pulse wave to just be overpowered. A lot of your Colossal Retaliators, right? They had the toughness, right, to prevent them from being multi-target pulse waved. But things like Tri-Sentinel, you could do a regular single target pulse wave to and at least get rid of them before having to deal with, like, say, Tri-Sentinel's 18 defense plus ESD, right? You could at least get a better shot on a single target Tri-Sentinel, as an example. Perplex. 2021 brought us a change to Perplex. That included no longer being able to perplex damage. So now what you see, for example, these teams where Bizarro Green Arrow is a big deal in this sort of bubble format with the ranged mastermind pieces like Legacy APOC, Legacy Ultron. You're not just able to perplex your damage out of those situations. So like a very ranged heavy team gets crazy, even more so dampered by a Bizarro Green Arrow than it did when Bizarro Green Arrow was even modern. So like a 50-point piece that's 7-ish years old is way more powerful than it was even when it came out, because you can't just perplex the damage to get out of it. So that makes for a not fun format. Auto equipping. I'd like to point out the 3rd or 4th place team from New Jersey States with the equipment auto equip. And the big point of this is interactivity, interactions, being able to interact with your opponent. Equipment pre-Spider-Man Beyond Amazing. This past rules change in 2023. Yeah, 2023. That equipment was not designed to be auto-equipped to characters. Therefore, you have this insanely powerful equipment from a point cost perspective that now can just start on figures. That includes your double equipping of the Mandarin rings, the gauntlets, the power gems, all of the infinity gems from ABPI. So what you have is that team of Reggies that got 3rd or 4th at New Jersey States, which I want to be clear for folks listening to the show. Like, this example here is not a dig on Reggie. Did you hear that? This is not a dig on Reggie. Reggie, whoever you are, if you listen to the show or if you don't, bravo, Reggie. Reggie played a fantastic team using the Legacy 4-dice Spider-Man, a character that can be friendly, mind-controlled, dice manipulation, and the cake Lex Luthors from JLU. The reports from that event was, go look at hcunits.net. Y'all know the deal. New Jersey State results. Reggie had a team that could make 50, 60, 70 attacks while annihilating the team. He took a 27-minute turn. But guess what happened at the end of that 27-minute turn? The other team was KO'd. And the other team didn't really get to interact with Reggie's team for a couple of different reasons that I'll talk about. But I want to focus on the auto-equipping here for this portion of the segment. So mind gems, space gems, power gems, double rings, all these things that were really cool were allowed to be interacted with in previous versions of the rules. They had to be on the map, so you could go steal them. A power gem that you can't go steal is insanely powerful. So that's one of the reasons why Silver Age is technically not a great format, because it's just playing things that were designed under different rules, under different point cost algorithms. So at any rate, the next thing, like the reason why I think Reggie's team did so good, is the big maps. Now, big maps is kind of part of points two, the next 2 points here combined. In that big maps constantly don't promote interactivity. WizKids did a fantastic job this year, early benching, early retiring the big maps from Modern before Nationals and Worlds, so that we could have an interactive format. So many of the big maps that are in Silver do not promote interactivity. They do not promote being able to play the game with your opponent. I don't know about y'all, but I've played barrier heavy teams because I've had to over the years. I had rather interact with my opponent than just not play the game. Big maps do not promote interactivity. And I'd rather see two figures slugging it out, bashing each other in, and having shape changes and super senses and impers and KC team ability rollouts. All of those things come into play. People rolling dice, figures getting close to each other, figures being able to take shots at each other. Not having this map be this impenetrable wall of unfun. Because that's not a lot of fun for new players. That's not a lot of fun for even your more experienced players. So big maps is a problem because of the floor requirement. This year saw the introduction of a 400 point, Silver moving to 400 points, which I also have issues with. But the floor requirement is one of the biggest reasons why I'm upset with Silver. And Silver Age requiring new players to go out and find the stuff that's not for sale, to go borrow from friends that they may not have made yet. I understand the HeroClix community is an incredibly giving community. You can borrow $1,000 worth of pieces from somebody you just met. But that's not a lot of what folks want to do. Some folks have social anxiety. Some folks don't make friends well, but they play the game to be able to try to work on that. So now you're asking them to try to struggle and go further than they ever have before just to play a game for fun because of the floor requirement. The floor requirement is probably one of the biggest things that I think makes the format unfun. No other format requires you... HeroClix is already complex. We've already talked about this. You have to know about the win to go look at erratas and changes to figures and rule questions. But now you also have to build in Silver. You have to build with a bench list, a ban list, and a restricted list. Why does it have to be so complicated to play Silver? Because no matter what happens, there is a continuous cycle of only one format being really good. The first year, it ended up being Thanos. I got second place. Hi, I played Thanos. The second year, it ended up being Carnage Silver Surfers. The third year, it ended up being the Mystical Team because of a Mutt's Tomb. We called it on the podcast earlier this year. Simple as that. So, a lot of what you run into is Silver Age is so large, so massive, that one thing always filters down to being really, really good. And being really, really good means winning. A lot of the results are coming back with Darkside, winning these states events, which is fine. But, and then you look at all the, continual things that are still good within the format. Blackheart not getting touched. Ant-Man winning with that in New Jersey. So, it's a format that's supposed to provide innovation, but there's only so many things that are really great. That just makes it really hard. Now, folks can say that that's a problem with Modern too, but at least Modern is accessible for newer players. I believe that everything we do here at Clixed Off should promote new players, growth of the community, and it just bothers me, and I know it bothers Jason, that this format doesn't support new players. And it's continually getting changed to not support new players. The floor requirement was added this year. Now, many of y'all know I work a professional job, and you should never bring problems to the table without solutions. Every problem needs to have a solution. So here are my solutions to fix the Silver Age format. Aaron and the council or whatever needs to continue to make very strict bans, very quick bans, very thorough bans to the format, including after the first week of states, right? We should have additional bans going into the second week of states. Make it a continually changing format. If we're going to require it as. Now, that's one option. The other option is remove the floor format. Let folks just play Modern Age with a sprinkling of Silver Age stuff. That provides a lot of differentiation in the format. Second of all, if you really want your format to be different, forcing folks to have 200 points of Silver Age is a big hill to climb. What's a little bit less hill of a climb? Make ID cards legal again. I know, gasp. That makes Silver Age a completely different format than Modern. One would say another broken format. It is what it is. Just my suggestions. I think removing the floor would be a biggest deal for making Silver Age approachable by new players. So beyond that, I think it's just, I want to reiterate again, as I end this segment, you have to go support your local store. Simple as that. We have to support The Rock. Aaron has done a great job. Howard has done a great job giving us an opportunity as a community to play. We have to support it. No ifs, ands, or buts. We have to support it. But nothing within having to support it or how awesome Aaron and the judging staff and WizKids has been in supporting the format, none of that will ever make us at Clixed Off be disingenuous about voicing our opinions on a matter that I think does not grow the community. So with that, you will only hear Clixed Off talking about Silver Age in a positive light from here on out. But just know, we got our hands slapped. We will be truthful and honest. But we will try to make a positive light going forward on Silver. Now on to the Modern Age. So, Jason, Modern Age.
Yeah.
So
Great, isn't it?
It is. So yeah, you're coming to the show mid episode, or I guess at least the first third of the episode. So yeah, you'll have to go back and listen to my technical thoughts on Silver Age. So Jason, because you're no longer allowed to get us in trouble. Just to be clear.
I was a bad boy.
Yep. So.
I suppose.
Yep.
I've been censored.
Your hand's been slapped. So, at any rate, we're done talking about that for now. We're going to talk about, as soon as Alex gets back on. Alex is not going to be able to join us tonight, he said. We're going to recover it. We're going to cover Silver Age results eventually. I want to talk a little bit.
On Tennessee State's, by the way.
Yeah, hell yeah, brother. Get in there and beat the shit out of them without rolling dice. To be clear, I'm playing the same team as Alex. So I'm going to get in there and, whoop ass, hopefully, without rolling dice. So Alex
I gotta give him let's see here, one of these here if I can find.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, come on. Alex won.
Give me a hell yeah.
What?
Give me a hell yeah. Give me a hell yeah. Give me a hell yeah.
I'm sure he'd appreciate this if he was here.
Yes, he would. Well, he can listen to the episode just like everybody else. So, yeah, so I want to cover it. I want to talk about the results. But just a life update, at least from my perspective on recording the show. I started a new job at the beginning of October, and it has taken an incredible amount of time additional from me to get up to speed and get to working and, learning my new team and hiring my new team. So, you say a lot of things about all of that. And Az might be joining us. He said, sure, he'll stop spending time with his woman just for you.
Well, I'm glad he has his priorities straight.
Yeah, I guess so. So, I'll see if he make sure he's in the. We can turn him on there. So yeah, he'll join in. So, for everybody out there that listens, I mean, I've just been a little too busy to record, and there hasn't been a whole lot going on really either way. We recorded the Black Panther set review, which I think went pretty well. I appreciate all y'all's feedback on the set reviews. But please send those feedback in on the episodes, and the set review turned out how it did. Black Panther set is kind of meh, for my opinion. That is up until we saw the bystanders, and oh boy, we saw the bystanders.
Fire bystanders. Huh?
So if your states got the Black Panther set, your goal is to get 9th place.
Who would have thought we'd ever said aim for
aim for 9th place, because that's where you get the whole set of bystanders from the set. And to start off, looking at the first bystander, Az was able to hop on.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
What's up?
We're going to talk about Red, White, and Clix here in a little bit. Sure. So just so you know, whereas the first third of this episode will be one that you want to listen to. Okay. I broke down my technical reasons why Silver Age is not a great format.
Sure.
We did a lot
I
of.
was not a part of it, by the way.
It was just me. You know, a lot of what we talked about over the weekend, and you know, I talked about it in that segment about whether or not I should even post that part of it. But it's going forward, and it is what it is.
I'm surprised it was just you. Jason loves silver. I thought he would be all over talking about it.
Yeah.
Well, people don't like when I express my opinions about it, apparently. So
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yep. So, at any rate, we are.
These bystanders are really good.
These bystanders are really good. But I just wanted you to be aware of what episode that you were coming into. So,
Sure.
The bystanders are really good. So, like you said, the first one, we now have 15-point leadership. This is a bystander that I have been looking for years. Like, every team just generically gets leadership super cheap.
So, just as a offshoot to this, right? So this is 15 points, and you're really just jazzed because it's got leadership, right?
And its power action is not...
Right. I get that, but are you mainly jazzed because it has leadership?
Yeah.
I don't see any other redeeming qualities that makes me super jazzed about it. Other than, I mean, it does get Wakanda for your wild cards.
I mean, there was a 20 piece that gave you a full leadership, basically.
But, so the question is, was that 20-point leadership go on every team and not break theme?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, you got to remember, the spirit of the game required you to play a theme team.
Yeah, so it went on every theme team.
It did.
Sure,
but
was 5 more points.
But
it's still 20-point leader. You're still basically 20-point leadership, and nobody seemed to give a crap.
5 points is a Bucky's arm.
I get it, Daniel. I get it, but I'm just saying
And
this thing didn't exist at the time, but nobody gave that any thought.
I think a lot of people also just, like we did for a little bit, assumed Spirit of the Game is rotated.
Well, even back when it definitely wasn't rotated, you didn't see it a bunch.
Yeah, but the point values, like Spirit of the Game was like close to Scott Porter. Like looking at figures back then to looking at them now is so different because of what is still around.
Yeah, and Spirit of the Game is still around, just so we're clear.
Yes,
it's not retired.
And yeah, you could have played Spirit of the Game up to now, but yeah, this character, and then if this character receives the errata that we expect him to, the power action is actually very good.
What do you mean?
What is the expected errata?
He's going to get a range of 4.
Oh, okay. He has no range.
Yeah.
His power action actually doesn't work right now. It works, but it's in his square.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I didn't even think about that part, but yeah. No, Jason, like, I think with theme teams being as prominent as they still are, especially based on the top 8 results of Red, White, and Clix, other than the top 2 teams, I had much rather played another ruler or another animal and something else with my team as is.
You mean your team you just played, you mean?
Yeah. I'd rather have played, instead of Flash Raptor, I'd rather played another animal or a ruler and this T2 Pog. Because as great as Flash Raptor was, he was definitely, by and large, the weakest part of my team. And having to butterfly in leadership was definitely the weakest part of my team. So,
that's fair.
Either that or let's just errata butterfly to not be unique.
So why was Flash Raptor weak? What was lacking in him, you felt like?
He was able to be outwitted.
That is a downside to him.
Yeah, his shape change and 50-50 super senses doesn't mean shit if it's outwitted.
Well, I mean, that goes for every figure in the game. Like,
well, yeah, I get that.
Speaking of T2, I wasn't really looking at Spirit of the Game, I'll be honest, but like when I saw T2, I personally think celebrity becomes the best keyword in Modern once Black Panther drops.
Yeah,
because
Kevin turned out to be so good.
Leadership is the one thing that keyword was lacking.
Yeah, I get it. And Kevin, and that's part of the Red, White, and Clix event came out, is that Kevin is insanely good. I mean,
too bad Kong's not a Marvel character.
And it realizes that we probably realized all along that Kevin was a really good character, but we all got one, right? So we were able to actually start functionally using him.
So the Kevin realization was twofold. One, nobody could get him, and then two, for his points, you could get 2 Scott Porters.
Basically, yeah, because you're putting a god on him too, right?
Right. So hit 2 Scott Porters, as good as Kevin is, 2 Scott Porters just offers significantly more.
Right. That's fair. All right, let's look at Junta a little bit. I don't know if I'm saying that wrong. If I mispronounce something, don't hold it against me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little bit starry-eyed at some of these things, but a 10-point pulse wave is so much value.
Yeah.
Also, sure, it's a Pog. It could just die. But it's also an 18 defense with shape change.
And this guy flies.
He has plasticity, not for nothing.
Yeah.
This guy can just carry people.
Yeah. It's a 10-point transporter.
I mean, he pulse waves and then pulls in every hit opposing character within 4 squares.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Yeah.
That's a pretty unique effect.
Yeah. For 10 points. For 10 points.
Why do they have all this cool shit on the Pogs that you can't get instead of putting this stuff on characters in the damn set?
Right. Yeah, it's gotta be a design. It's gotta be a design thing.
You can't get these effing Pogs.
You can if you get 9th place at States with a Black Panther set.
That is my goal. Then I
would be super. But you're right, Jason. If this Pog had just the printed yellow power pulse wave, I would be super hype about it. But the fact that it's a special power pulse wave,
yeah, it does something different,
is so nuts. And I don't know, it's just really cool. Really, really cool.
Can you tell me why we couldn't get this guy as an actual click instead of getting 2 Killmongers or 2 War Machines, or
whoa. Those War Machines are actually pretty good.
Hey, I know. I'm just saying they're doubling up on characters.
You're not wrong.
And we could have got this dude as a full HeroClix with this Cloud's power or something.
Yeah.
All right. It just seems like a waste to me.
I agree. I've spoken at length of how I disagree with how these bystanders are distributed. So if they're going to put them on these bystanders, I don't like how they're distributed.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, they're cool if people can't get a hold of them. It just sucks.
Except if you get 9th place at States.
Yep.
Yep.
I've never shot for 9th before in my life, but you bet for certain I'm going to.
So, never aim for mediocrity. Never aim for mediocrity unless you're playing
for matches of time. Don't aim for 9th because that's
don't aim for 9th at matches of time.
Just Black Panther. Yeah.
If you're playing for matches of time, it's first place or you're last. It doesn't matter.
Ricky Bobby, baby. Ricky Bobby
time. Yeah.
And Black Panther, you can aim for 9.
Yeah.
Yes.
And make sure you're per Howard. Make sure that your venue is following the rules on the prize distribution sheet.
Yep.
Have you ever wanted the best part of Captain Marvel Super Rare for 15 points?
Yeah.
Yes.
If so, welcome to Goose. We now have
nice to see Goose back.
It is, and I know that Nick Fury in the set produces it, but it's really nice to see.
50 points.
Yeah, he's 50.
It's way better than having to pay for Nick Fury.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Goose feels overcosted. Because you know what we got for 25 points with Perplex? Scott Porter.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I don't want a one-click Perplex for 15 points.
I mean, yeah. If I'm gonna play a 15-point Perplex, I might as well just play Madison.
Yeah, for 20.
Yeah,
that's fair. But it is really cool to have just a Pog of Goose. The coolness factor is there.
When I saw this, I thought it was literally just the 0-point bystander, like from the Dyson token packs that we used to get. I'm like, did they seriously put these in the Chase boosters?
Yeah. No.
I'm glad they put points on them that we can actually play them.
Yep. And now, any team can get a TK and a prob.
And barrier.
And barrier. Yeah. Oh, it's got barrier. The fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
The fuck? By the way, as y'all know, I'm online a lot, and there's a new TikTok trend where gals or people will go up to their partner and say "the fuck" after everything. Like the fuck? No, you can't. It's not the fuck. As it's the fuck. It's with a Q, not a CK. The fuck. Yeah, you get TK barrier prob on every team. The fuck.
I feel like it's something we're gonna have to have like a TikTok intervention with you for your addiction. Like,
oh man, probably. So is a what's funny is a one-click combo porter worth it with Manifold? Maybe. 25 is awful steep.
Yeah. It is, but he gives you those 3 powers. He gives you a Wakanda TA. I don't know.
Yeah, it feels like he's
not bad.
It feels like he's appropriately costed, which is problem because that means that he's overcosted.
The thing is, I think we need to come down off the porters are 25 points and did all this shit stuff because that's not going to happen anymore.
So I'll give you a better example. For 5 points less, I get to play Perdegaton.
Well, okay.
Shit.
Powers.
Yeah, Protegaton, is just a 20-point leadership plus a whole bunch more.
Plus TK and prob.
Yeah.
With and a trait that nobody remembers and a trait that messes everybody up and
sidestep flipe, yeah. So there we go.
Somebody across the board takes your barrier and puts it on the other side of the map where it's effing useless. While somebody hides in blocking terrain like a rude person.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I don't know who would do that as.
Right.
Jeez.
Now that reminds me, do you have your talking points ready for your segment in Modern Age ready? For what we talked about earlier today?
Sure.
You can just talk about your talking points today.
Yeah, I can do that.
That's fine. The Dora Milaje. So let's finish up this segment real quick. Dora Milaje. That's fine. Zinze.
This figure is really interesting, actually.
Yeah, might have some uses.
That's a cool power.
Yeah. It was brought to my attention by Devin Owens. He was like, so your opponent is playing Hidari Yeo, and like they just want to shoot you, and then you just walk over and tell them no.
Or Phoenix Sentinel or something like that.
Yeah.
Or
not within line of fire, just range.
Or your camo that wants to get around shape change can have Battle Fury.
Very good offensively and defensively.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Jason, to be clear, I want to be clear. Indiana State this upcoming weekend has Black Panther.
Yep.
Oh, I know. I'm too busy this month, man.
You could come up and be the 9th player, or aim for 9th. Just give your brother a team to play and have him come out and play.
Jason, I think you would be good enough in silver to get 9th.
Can I play a whole WWE team?
Well, sure. It might actually be good.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. Let's go. Crack open the six-pack.
If I can tombstone somebody into the ground, that would be
feeling in the world.
Super fun.
I'll work on seeing what I can come up with.
Okay. Because I'm definitely going to play in one. So, at our place. So, yeah.
This Zenzi also, real quick, doesn't need to be printed range, so you can bump her up to an 8 range, and doesn't need line of fire.
Fun. Shield TA, best TA.
Agreed.
Kirby, that's going to be the one you're disappointed to pull.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's meh.
But it is a cute little puppy.
Yeah, what do you expect from a little bitty puppy, though, right? I mean, if he claws you for a few damage, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Or he claws you for 6.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
like the baby shark did.
Oh,
that poor guy's man thing. So let's see, the joined. Here we go. If the joined is within 4 squares of an opposing character, he can't be targeted by range attacks.
Yeah.
Why do all of the Pogs hate Hidario?
True. Not wrong.
It's fine. It's a little. It's
25.
It's 20 points. Yeah. It's not that great. Raven. When an opposing character within 4 squares line of fire attacks, attack rolls of 4 or less or critical misses. Maybe.
And it has
Yeah. It's fine, but its problem is that it's tiny. So, a little hard to get within range and line of fire there. It is Mystics, though. Did you say that?
Yeah.
Prey is generic. Shield Operative.
Yeah.
This is the second best one in the set, in my opinion.
10-point shield TA.
Okay, and then when an adjacent friendly character uses Outwit, Perplex, or Prob, increase their minimum range by 1. So 5 range, right?
Yep.
And the fact that it says increase their minimum range by 1, there are objects that grant a minimum range. That could be a thing.
Well, it's only when using those powers.
Yeah, I get that.
But here's a fun. This is a Silver Age one, so if you'll,
I'll allow it. It's fine. We're okay with.
I'll stick my fingers in my ears.
We're okay.
Yeah.
We're okay with Silver Age now, as of half an hour ago.
Okay, I'll have to listen to that part. The Liar Ring.
Your optimism is misplaced.
What did you say, Az? Okay, are you done talking about Silver Age there?
Sure.
All right, go ahead.
The Liar Ring grants mind control, and when the equipped character uses mind control, Outwit, or Perplex, their minimum range is 10.
Yeah, so it makes it 11, right?
Sure does.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, and this character has Empower.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, we can get Empower for 5 points.
Yeah, but this is Empower, Shield Team ability, and that.
5 points is a Bucky's arm. That's what I got told a minute ago.
It's true. But this is a Shield TA for 5 points. Yeah, I think Shield Operative and Tay2 are going to be the Weasel and Timebreaker of the set. And then there's additional ones that are on those levels in Zenzi and Manifold.
Yeah. Viper, that's rather generic. Midnight Angel is all pink.
It is the first click of the Midnight Angel in the set.
Oh, really?
Yep.
It feels like it's the antithesis of what the Midnight Angel represents. It's all pink.
Why does Iron Fist have a Pog? Is this Danny Rand Iron Fist?
I think so. He's got an interesting trait, but you'll never get to do it.
He doesn't have he does have traded knockback, but it's 20 points. The fuck?
for a charge with 4 range or 4 speed.
The fuck?
Well, to be fair, every charge has like 4 speed nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to the new normal. Red Wing, that's cool. It's just like the Pog, but the Pog's tiny, right? The normal Pog that's generated is tiny. This one's normal sized. Hopefully that's a misprint.
Yeah, and if this is supposed to reflect that same Red Wing, this will also have enhancement.
Josiah X. Be nice if it had something else there.
It's got decent stats. That's about
True.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about our Red, White, and Clix event. I also mentioned this at the beginning of the show. Wes TO'd a fantastic event for us up in Lafayette, Indiana. 67 players in the main event, which PJ Bolin judged and used HC units to run all by himself as a judge, with one scorekeeper helper in the form of Az's girlfriend, Danielle. But Danielle stayed behind the desk. To be clear, PJ was able to judge a 67 player, as coughed, 67 player event by himself and run it nearly flawlessly with HC units. The only hiccup with HC units was PJ's fault. And once Clay whipped him into shape, HC units performed flawlessly for a 67 player event. Yeah.
It was absolutely smooth and easy as could be.
Yeah.
I don't think I've played in a better run and performed event for Clix since I've been playing.
Of that size.
Yeah.
Yeah, of that size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's one of the biggest tournaments outside of Worlds.
Any size.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the biggest tournaments we've had outside of Worlds. Period. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Units was absolutely phenomenal, and it is continuing for that same event. It is continuing to be great because of the information that it houses that we get to go back and look at.
Which is so nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If people had posted their teams up there a little more, it would have been nicer. But what we got is great.
Look, I had to go back and put mine in. I had a Clay go out and put mine back in. You know, my bad, y'all.
It's like less than half of the teams are posted.
So, Jason,
Mm-hmm.
I wanna.
Yeah.
I'll give this to you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Az, are you ready for this? You and I played in this event.
I'm ready.
2024 Silver Age World Championship. Guess how many players it had?
How many?
61.
Yeah.
61.
So this event that did not have you know what? It didn't. Correction. It did not have Scott Porter in attendance, nor a ton of exclusive things that was in the auction.
Or a cash prize.
Had 6 more players than the Rock Cup World Championship this year. That was Silver Age. And so here's what I would like to say when it comes to that. I no longer want to hear that Modern Age or HeroClix tournaments have a lull between Worlds and whatever arbitrary time people come up with. This event was in November and was in Lafayette, Indiana.
Yep.
Had an attendee from tons of attendees from 5, 6, 7, 8 hours away.
One from California.
One from California. Shout out Emilio's brother. And 67 players. Had more players than a World Championship did this year.
Yeah.
If that doesn't tell you that Modern Age needs to be a year-round factor, I don't know what else does.
It was so nice to see Masters of Time get its time to shine a little bit.
Oh, man. Yes, it was great.
And to see what the stuff is like now that we've rotated out the sets we were sick of.
And you know what? I was probably okay. I'm definitely okay that Beetlejuice was delayed. And I was probably...
Oh, man.
And I'm probably okay that Black Panther was delayed a little bit too. Again, we don't typically complain about that sort of stuff. Maybe we have in the past. I don't know. But honestly, delivery schedules at this point are just way outside of our control.
I mean, if the cargo, container that had Beetlejuice in it sunk in the Pacific Ocean, I wouldn't cry.
It wasn't cargo, Jason. It was no go.
I wish it was no good.
Car no go. Car no go.
Cargo space. Cargo no go space.
Yeah.
But yes, so, and then additionally, right, like, without having Beetlejuice in the format, I cannot express... Things were so fun. I cannot express how healthy the format was. The variety of team. Now, I think there are some things that you have to play. It's not like it's all, rainbows and fairy shit. It kind of was.
But there's a lot of interesting takes on those must-plays.
Yeah. It kind of was some fairy shit, though, because Eli Becker played the 10 Battle Gnomes.
Which was super cool.
Yeah. So, shout out Eli.
I only played one repeating team throughout the day, which was I played 2 Poison Ivy teams.
Yeah.
Poison Ivy teams are pretty popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
The plants are growing in the winter.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The vines are spreading.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the meta...
They weren't all the same either. There were some differences.
There were some very slight differences. Yeah.
So I think, I think the number one breakdown of the meta from Red, White, and Clix is Butterfly is almost a must-have.
Agreed.
I mean...
Says the guy who didn't play it and went undefeated.
What?
You didn't play Butterfly, did you?
As played Butterfly.
I played Butterfly.
Oh, I thought you didn't. Okay.
No, I did.
Oh, okay. My bad.
If I didn't, there were I do believe there were games that I would not have won if I didn't.
No, I didn't play it.
Yeah, I mean, I said almost a must-play. I didn't say emphatically a must-play. There are teams and situations where you don't have to play it, but I think it's an insanely strong version that you have to play.
Oh, it's just a Clix version of Magic the Gathering sideboard.
Right.
I mean, it's your Swiss Army knife for any occasion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and not only that, like the versatility that the sideboard gives you for a Butterfly, for the sideline, and the trait itself, the mass leeching trait is insane.
It is, yeah. I mean, it proved that at Worlds too.
Yeah,
it was just that good.
Yep. Just cross-map deployment of butterflies for mind controlling is just so good. It's so ridiculous.
It's probably the single best figure in the format.
Yeah. Now I noticed that at least on the meta, I mean, without all the teams reported, the meta tab needs to be taken with a tiny bit grain of salt on HC units. But it's because I think there's
less than half the teams are reported. So
less than half the teams are reported. So let's take this as a grain of salt there, because 18 teams out of the 67, with half of those reporting, Per Degaton was the number one figure, and
not surprising though necessarily.
Not surprising though. Now here's the thing, unlike Butterfly, I think Per Degaton is just insanely powerful. Which is obvious, right? I think to a lot of folks. but I don't know necessarily that he's a must-play. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Degs, I agree. I don't think he is a must-play, but I think you want to play him.
I think you do, but he's not like... Perdegaton is insanely powerful. That's why you play Perdegaton.
Yes.
Butterfly is game warping, and that's why you play it. Because of the sideboard effect.
I can agree with that.
So, yeah, I mean, golly, I it's one of those things like we can go in and talk about, our rounds and how we did, and, that usually takes a little bit of time, but let's, all three of us on the show, out of 67 players, we all made top 8. Let's talk a little bit about, let's go like our typical, let's go worst to best, talk about what we played, and what we liked about our team, and how we ended up. So, Jason, do you want to go first?
Well, I guess I don't have any choices by the rules you just laid out.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's true.
I mean, we could have just rolled off for it or something, but I guess we'll just do this because it's boring.
Wow. Help me out, why don't you?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I support this.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, so I got to play Ivies finally because I've had them on the brain for like 3-4 months at this point. So my team...
Nat, right?
Do what?
Since Nats, right?
Yeah, since before Nats, really. And she was just was in a bad spot after that whole change and Kong taking over. But anyway, I got my 2 new favorite figures on the team, which would be Man-Thing and Swamp Thing, the dynamic duo of the green. I had Swamp Thing with Khonshu, Man-Thing with Chthon on him. I had 2 Iconics Poison Ivy, one with the Bucky's arm, and the Notorious 25-point Poison Ivy with Tauret. I had Perdegaton, and then the Lucas, PJ, and Scott Pog. And I had Reverse Flash on the sideline, who never came out one time all day, and a Nifty Traffic Barrel, and of course the Bunker, which is the only map I used all day. And made top 8, 5-2. It was a super fun team to play. Swamp Thing was the real deal, if you didn't already know.
Yeah.
Way better than I initially gave him credit for when I saw him the first time.
And
I think he's
like,
MVP for the day.
The more you read Swamp Thing's card, the more you realize what he does. Like, he just always seems to do something else that you didn't realize.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you find out that he has traded shape change. Or you find out he has support.
Mm-hmm. Poison.
Yeah. It's like, huh.
Yeah. Changes his size. Free attacks. Yeah. Can free regenerate on the end of his dial if he's holding up a hit marker. All kinds of cool shit. And he's a herald, and he gets to bring in a god for free, and he has a team player. The thing that made me look at him first off was he has team player and 12 attacks, so it lets me copy Batman, and any of my Iconics Ivies could copy his 12 attack, and they could all attack across the map.
Yeah. Did you miss having the Harley at all, or did you just never really look back at that?
I just didn't think Harley pulled her weight enough.
That's fair.
That was I didn't want to play her, and then I had this whole dilemma. I was like, I can't figure out what I'm going to do because I gotta have that replacement for the attacks, right? Because they have a 10 attack, it's just not good enough.
Right.
And finally, when I realized that Swamp Thing had team player, I was like, oh, this is the answer. It's just like it was meant to be. But no, I didn't. I mean, the Ivies died like a fair amount because I just couldn't protect them good enough. Like Perdegaton was playing against me all day, and he just kept moving my barrier across the map, as some people here well know.
Yeah.
And there's enough Quake and Super Strength around, you can't really do it with just blocking terrain on its own. But no, I did not The only thing she offered I really wished I had was that, it only takes 2 damage at a time, but all in all, I didn't miss having her. Swamp Thing replacing her is just way better.
Makes sense.
So, Jason, on the super rare Ivy from Notorious, did you realize that how good she was as a counter to Deadpool and Elsa?
No, not until it was in front of me. I didn't even think about it.
So, I want to talk about that real quick as you go through this. Super rare Ivy from Notorious for all characters with this trait. When a character is given an action, if an opposing terrain marker was destroyed during that action, after resolution, score 5 points and generate a plant hindering terrain marker into a square of a destroyed terrain marker. This game, when that marker has a blah 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 blah.
Oh, she's so good against anybody that's making terrain, like opposing plant marker terrain, or pizza, or grave markers. That there seem to be everywhere right now.
Right.
I mean,
so
yeah.
Deadpool and Elsa gives out the pizza terrains as to be destroyed during the free support or the free support or the free prob, right? King Deadpool and Elsa is specifically the prob. But it's when a character is given an action, aka like a sidestep breakaway. If you prob that, it costs 5 points for you to do so. Now this was probably an interaction that we had realized during Worlds, but coming out of this event, we saw a whole lot of King Deadpool and Elsa, which I think is also part of the effect of the porters being gone. In that Deadpool and Elsa, was 55 points. So was Scott's being 50. It's just a really good replacement on a lot of teams.
Yeah, on top of them being 55 points in deals penetrating damage, so they're actually good to play into figures like Kong.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if I had to change anything here, I think I'd probably just drop one of the Iconics Ivies and get another Notorious Ivy and a Trick Arrow.
Why another Notorious Ivy?
Because I want double barrier, because that way when one of them gets moved across the map with Predagaton, I still have one.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
I'd probably put Tourette on Predagaton so I can take advantage of his see-through characters with the outwit.
That's true. So talk about I give us like your favorite part of your day and your favorite play of the day.
My favorite play of the day?
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, I guess my favorite play of the day, I was playing Sean Booty. He had a Jennifer Kale team, and I mind controlled his Man Thing to kill his Jennifer Kale so she couldn't use Man Thing to protect her.
Nice.
That was fun. I think the funnest team I probably played against was Jacob Bishop and his 500 Necrons and Cosmo from the Guardians calendar box set.
Mm-hmm.
It's hilarious.
And he had King Deadpool and Elsa too, and it was just an hilarious team. Super nice guy too. It was nice to meet him.
Mm-hmm.
That was the funnest thing probably all day.
Nice. And then tell us how your day ended.
Oh, it ended when I played Az and his team that counters everything about my team.
Yeah, heard.
Couldn't lose to a nicer guy.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. And then just
Now, I did have a super crazy interaction though in top 16.
okay.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this.
When I was playing Logan Pagano, super good player. I think they said he was only 14. Kid was never flustered. He did a great job. He had Black Lanterns. It came down to my Man Thing versus his Space Ghost. He attacked my Man Thing, I think he needed like an 8 or something to hit me. He rolled exactly that. He hit me. KO. I missed Super Senses. He KO'd my Man Thing, and the Mystics KO'd his Space Ghost. So we
you guys
killed
had
each
to
other.
sit there.
You had to sit there until time ran out according to the rules, and unfortunately, he had not dropped his trick arrows on the map in the middle of our game, and which it was ruled that as soon as they didn't have access to use it, which we would have, it was right there, and his Batman died right in the middle of all of our figures. That I got the 10 points, and that was a 5-point victory.
Yeah, just for clarification for anybody listening who doesn't understand what was happening, the ending the game check happens after everything is finished resolving, when there's no characters left on the board. So they had to finish resolving the Mystics, which KO'd Space Ghost, and then it checked. And there's no more check after the first one. So, unfortunately, they had to sit there until time was called. The check only happens once.
Yeah, it was super weird interaction.
I've never seen that happen before, so
it was definitely a memorable one. For sure.
For sure.
But I had a blast playing. It was a great time.
Yeah. Yeah, you did a good job building the team, too.
Yeah. You did a great job this weekend. Both of you did.
So my team that I played is on there. It's called Mo Shock Mo Beta. I originally didn't really know what I wanted to play for the event. And, I was really, torn a lot of the time on the event. Like, what did I want to play? And then we realized very quickly that Diana worked. And she could just shout into the air and call over a figure. So I got really excited about being able to play Kong again, potentially. Because shouting into the air, Diana shouting into the air, calling over a Kong and having a Kong double quake a team sounded like a lot of fun. And again, with my aforementioned having a new job situation, as previously reported, I didn't have a lot of time to build a cool team like Jason's, Harley's and Ivy's and whatnot. So I went into the event with that particular excitement all around, and then having it dashed aside by some sort of crazy ruling where they just said that the rules don't work that way anymore. So I was like, well, Az, what am I going to play? So Az built me a little 4-character team that was actually designed for one of our newer competitive players, Jeremy, who... so I played a new guy team for the event. It was camo with a motorcycle, butterfly, Flaptor, and Kong with Conchu. So, the new guy team. So, at any rate, it was a ton of fun. I ended up going 4-1 in Swiss, and that worked out pretty well. I lost to Rob Olger because I was playing badly. So if you play badly, shit happens. And I ended up making it through top 16, top 8, made it to top 4. And then, lost to Az, as one does.
Why is it we always play each other in Top Cut?
I don't know. It's super
all the time. We can't be on separate sides of the bracket.
Well, when we're a top 8 and there's 3 of us, it's bound to happen. I guess.
I get it, but it happened at Worlds too. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's more. Me and Dan were pretty convinced we were going to play each other round 2 after we were both 1-1. We were both 1-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, luckily we didn't play each other in Swiss.
Yeah.
Agreed. So, but anyways, the team was pretty straightforward. I mean, if you can't tell by just the, the fact of what it is, it zoomed across
Big Animal Go Smash.
Big Animals Go Smash. Yay. That was pretty much it. And had a really good time with it. It worked really well. It all came down to just really playing a whole lot of basics of HeroClix. Just go smash with things and just go have fun. All
the attackers have solid attack values. Like you're just solid attackers.
Mm-hmm. You got it. So that was it. I mean, I streamed it. It was fun. I definitely could have played a whole lot better in some of the games that I played. I could have made better butterfly choices. And I think that's some apparent on the stream if you were to watch the stream. So not much I could do about that. I didn't have time to practice, but I still managed 4th place out of 67 players with a team that I had never put on the map before the event. So that's not me being braggadocious or anything. It's just the fact of life that led me up to this event.
I think that's a testament to people who are looking at teams. Is like sometimes you don't have to go for the what looks like flashy, complicated team. Just playing something that's real simple and linear, that's easy to play for a long HeroClix day. Like benefits.
It was a long day. It was a long day.
Yeah, that matters. Stamina makes a difference.
Yeah, and just
mental stamina makes a difference.
My decisions are going to be this, and this. Like my first 2 turns, this is how I go. It just being very linear and being easier to pilot over a long course of the day means, you're gonna have that longevity throughout a longer tournament.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So my favorite play of the day. I can't even think that I had something like super insightful, to be honest, because like it was just Big Animals Go Smash. Like that's literally what the team did, right? So I mean, like Camo hops to his Pog or hops to a Butterfly, then you move up Kong, and then Camo hops to Kong, and Camo hops to Kong, and then charges and super strengths and exploits and whatever, picks up a giant reach object, blah 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 blah, and
then Kong does it, and then Flash Raptor.
And then Kong comes in and quakes, and then Flash Raptor hypersonics across the map, hits someone and quakes, and then that's it.
A lot of attacks for a 4-figure team.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty crazy. So I had a lot of fun playing the team. It worked out really well. I did end up losing to Az, who had the team that just countered everything that I did. I told him next time to give me a team that beats his instead of.
Hey, don't you wish you just decided to use a different butterfly in that match?
Not really, no. I needed the leadership probably, but I mean the prob is fine. But I guess that's probably a good analysis from the event that I would bring up with my team is that
we need to get an onboard leadership.
Yeah, the onboard leadership was a big deal for my team, but butterflying in John Con is a huge deal. There is so much probability control available in the game right now.
Don't say.
Yeah.
It's almost too much. I mean, to be honest with you, it is almost
very easy to build.
Yeah, it is very easy to build and overbuild with prob. And super rare John Constantine from Masters of Time, Saul's champ piece, makes a whole lot of difference in this situations. So just something to be aware of. I don't know necessarily that it's a good thing or a bad thing that there's so much prob, but it's out there. All right, Az, talk to us about what you played and how you did.
Sure. The team that I played Chase She-Hulk from Next Phase, the one coming out of the TV, equipped with a motorcycle. Butterfly, Kevin as the avatar of Khonshu, Reverse Flash on the main force with Bucky's arm, Predegaton, and a Legacy Daredevil. Something that I think I will point out that's a common factor between the three teams that we played. All three of us played teams that are very comfortable playing on Major Brock's Bunker. And that is something that I noticed throughout all of my rounds. A lot of people still are not comfortable playing on that map. It is not a map that you can just sit down and look at and play well on your first go. It is a map that you need reps in to learn how to properly play that map. Me and Dan and I's team, we have attackers who just treat the map as blank. And Jason just gets to attack from across the map. So if you don't pick the right sides, you want to make sure that you're analyzing that properly. As for how I did, I officially got second. I ended the tournament before the finals at 8-0 with a full 2,400 points. Was exhausted. Asked Rob if he wanted to split. Asked Rob Olger if he wanted to split prizing and roll off for the championship. He rolled a 5, so of course I rolled better than a 5. But unfortunately I didn't, and I couldn't use the 5 probs that my team has.
Yeah, the one time you needed them all day, right?
Yeah. But second place to and the performance that the team had for the whole day was fantastic. Like, I couldn't have asked for a better finish. Obviously winning the roll off, or playing it, but I was so exhausted. Yeah, this She-Hulk really, really impressed me. Just so hard to deal with great improved movements, charge flurry, super strength prob, outwit, the ability to cancel prob, outwit or perplex.
Revive, don't forget that.
Yeah, her own revive plus, Butterfly. My main Butterfly target was Death Metal Wonder Woman, which gave her another revive. I forgot about that because I never had to revive her once. Nobody ever KO'd her once. Yeah, the team and the standout figure that came out of this was Kevin. Kevin, I think, is the best support character in the game right now. Just an 8-range Omnivision with every support power you would want, plus more when you have an avatar of a god to him.
Wait,
Re-rolling
yeah. I got a question for you.
Sure.
Are you telling me that improved targeting everything may be pretty good?
Yes, the Omnivision is insanely good.
Huh. Well, shit, I never would have guessed that.
Who'da thunk?
Yeah, I mean, are we okay with having improved targeting through everything?
I am more okay with it on Kevin than I was on other characters that I won't name that had it. Because he's not an attacker. He is strictly a support character.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, well, that moving him around, that 8-range outwit through everything is annoying.
Yeah. Carrying him around with Predegaton was definitely what happened a lot in my games. And then the ability to just reroll any roll made by a Marvel character once per turn. An interaction I learned throughout the day was when you roll for hyper time, it is actually the character that is attempting to move adjacent. So when I would roll hyper time for She-Hulk, I could re-roll it, which was interesting because hyper time says it rolls.
Yeah, any roll is any roll that they take.
So when I'm on Death Metal Wonder Woman with this team, most of my team has a 50-50 senses. Reverse Flash is such an insanely efficient attacker that I don't know if I ever want to put him on the sideline again. I think I always just want to main force him.
All right.
And with Bucky's arm as the 13 for 4 flurry hypersonic was just so good. Let me see. What was the?
And not for nothing, the most important part of Reverse Flash is improved movement characters.
Mm-hmm. improve movement characters, prob, and then double roll out.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4. So I had 4 main force probs. Sometimes I was on 5 if Wonder Woman got hit to prob, and then Kevin reroll. Very, very hard to actually hit me. Especially with She-Hulk being able to cancel out other probs. I know that happened quite often throughout the day. But yeah, so my favorite play that happened throughout the day was actually in round 5 against Pat Frazier, where I got to butterfly mind control his vigilante. I hit the mind control attack and then politely asked to see his trick arrow cards. And to which he responded, "Oh, right, you can do that." He gave me the stack. I looked at them. The first one was too dangerous, and I just immediately put it down. To where I too dangerous, KOing Perdegaton, Green Man, Weasel, dealing 4 damage to Myrn and 3 damage to Vigilante.
Nice.
Yeah, which was just an insane play. So some other things that came out with the tournament that I kind of want to talk about. A rules interaction that I don't think a lot of people notice or know about is so the rules with straddling terrain, straddling elevated terrain. We know this is only for characters that are multi-based, that are either great-sized or that fly. What people don't know is that it only applies to characters. So the rule that restricts straddling does not apply to terrain markers. Therefore, you can take a multi-based terrain and straddle it over multiple levels of elevation. There are scenarios where this is very, very good and very detrimental to an opponent. It is very obscure. A lot of people don't think it should work this way. But I wanted to confirm over this weekend when I learned about it, how it was going to be ruled for the event. So anybody going forward, be careful with that or utilize that to your advantage. And Perdegaton is dumb.
Yes, he is.
He should not have his during game setup trait at 20 points. He already does enough. But being able to place your characters, your opponents place their characters, and then you just take one of their characters and you put it in the least advantageous position for them possible. And then you put your terrain down. It allows you to just box out a lot of characters. Unfortunately, this did happen to Jason.
Sure does. Yep.
To where I took his super rare Poison Ivy. We're playing left to right on Major Brock's bunker, so it's the sides that go all the way from elevation 1 to elevation 4. And I put her all the way down on the elevation 1, and then I placed a 1x2 L-shaped blocking the door, and she could not actually escape.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, I did it to people too.
Yeah.
I just like to give Az a hard time about it, but yeah. I mean, I played against Perdegaton a lot that day, and yeah, it happened. It happened a good amount.
Yeah. Just being able to manipulate your opponent's starting force and their setup, like sending their main character away from a TK, like that can just be so detrimental in tempo of, oh, now I have to action this character to get them back in position. Yeah, utilizing that with the placement of terrain. Still not sure I'm a fan of terrain markers in general as far as the game goes. I think if they wanted to do it, they should have just made all the maps blank and let you build terrain around it. But that's a topic for another day. But an effect like Perdegaton with placeable terrain markers is just insanely strong.
Terrain has created a... I don't know the term I want to use as. It is the ability to place terrain on your build sheet and to have it be such wildly crazy ass sizes as it's turned out to be.
Yeah.
Is
if they were just single squares, like one square, it's fine. But they're not. They're 1x3s and 1x2s, or a 3x3 or a 2x3. Like, they're so big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's really the problem. Is that it's just such insane sizes of pieces and different shapes and all this other stuff, and I just don't get it. And like with the lack of control that the maps have had over the years, it just becomes like untenable.
Yeah, and it adds another level of I'm gonna say this is a skill of being able to read a map, read an opponent's setup, and know where to place the terrain that is going to be most advantageous to you and most disadvantageous to your opponent is just another skill that's so minuscule that it's like hard to get good at.
Mm-hmm. Right, and
the traffic barrel that compound all that.
And then
too.
there's the traffic barrel.
And the other thing I'd like to add on top of that, it does add a super big barrier because some of these terrain pieces are in hard to get play-at-home kits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, make sure you buy the play-at-home kits, people.
At least buy all the ones that you can get at your local store. And then they put some in the ones that only WizKids offers at the store, which I don't like that they do that.
And then some of them
are in miniatures games.
And then some of them are in miniatures games, which apparently will be forever legal.
Yeah,
yeah,
all
i.e.
the
the machine.
non-carded ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is
why I went out and finally broke down and bought one. I'm like, I have to have the terrain out of it. I'm not going to use anything else out of it, but
yep. So
yeah, I'm glad that they're forever legal, I guess, just for the fact that you can't figure out what comes in what. That's another bad thing about them. You don't know what's in what because they don't list it.
I do like the forever legal part of it. I think that makes it really nice, right? That we have a forever legal game element. Because we missed out on years where like I cannot find the article, okay? But I am still
all the evergreen maps they were going to have.
I'm still almost 100% certain that the WizKids office was supposed to be evergreen.
It was the office, the gaming convention,
yeah,
a parking garage, and like one other one. I think that I remember when I first started, somebody told me that they were going to be evergreen.
Mm-hmm. They said that at one time. I know they did.
Well, and that's the thing. We all know that they did, and I don't think it's mass hysteria.
Well, we don't have proof.
But we don't have
Mandela effect.
Because it has to be something because we just have no proof of that, and I cannot find the article years and years and years from looking.
Yeah,
and
it's been scrubbed.
And here's the thing, and I don't mean to harp on this because it's just a fun side subject to talk about, I guess. I didn't know what the word evergreen meant until it was in that article.
Oh, really?
So that I didn't play other games. Remember, I only played HeroClix. I don't play Magic or any of these other things. So I didn't know what the word evergreen meant until then.
So I when I hear evergreen, the first time I ever heard it, I equated it to I figured out what it meant because I equated it to evergreen trees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is where it comes from. So because evergreen trees never really like
they stay forever green. But obviously I know what an evergreen tree is, but I didn't know how that equated to the game.
Sure.
Until I Googled it at that point. This was in 2016 or so. So At any rate, I wasn't aware of that fact, and now I am, and now I'm still sad about the fact that the WizKids office is not evergreen. But at least they're holding to the new fact of the terrain markers are evergreen at this point. So just make sure that you collect all that stuff.
Man, can you imagine if they actually kept them as evergreen now that we're to all small maps? Like, what would they do?
What do you mean?
Like, those are big maps.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
We don't have big maps anymore.
Oh, that's true. Like, if somebody could come up with the article and hold WizKids to it.
Yeah. All right, we get big maps back.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, don't do that. Nobody do that.
Yeah, we don't need that. We're done with those.
Hey, you know
I
what?
like having the table space that we have.
The table space is nice. That is definitely a nice thing that's happened.
I agree. It's one of those things. It just is what it is. You know, it'll go down in the mythos of HeroClix at this point. Because we can't find the article anymore.
One last thing about the event from this past weekend. Did you touch on the post that Wes Robertson made earlier today about how much money they raised?
I did not, because I didn't see it.
They raised around $4,000.
Yeah, $4,000 to help veterans in need.
All right, well that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, big shout out to the community that came out and supported the event, and financially in that way. Awesome, cool raffles. They fed us really good food.
They did. They had a lot of things for sale. Like they had play-at-home kits and con exclusives and good prices.
I guess I need to message Wes, who took the raffle to be on the show.
I think it was Jalen.
No way. Why would he do that? He's welcome on anytime.
Jalen got the JSA Clix one.
That's funny.
He was the only one that put his name in it.
That's funny.
I think he also got the HeroClix USA one. Pretty sure he won all of them, except for the Dial H one.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have Jalen back on the show again. That's not a problem.
For sure.
After
he plays silver.
Yeah. I don't know if Jalen's even. I guess he's coming to Indiana State. I don't think
he'll be at Indiana. He'll be at Kentucky. He'll be at Ohio and West Virginia.
Yeah.
He'll be at all the ones I'll be at, except for Indiana next week. No, this week.
Yeah, Indiana's this week. So
I couldn't do the trip to Indiana in back-to-back weekends. It's a bit far for me.
That makes sense.
That's fair.
What?
Do you guys have any regrets from this weekend?
Do we have any what?
Like regrets or things you would have liked to have seen differently?
Oh gosh, no, not really. Maybe get there, maybe not get there at midnight.
Yeah.
But
yeah, get there a little earlier. That would have been nice.
But so I would say to that aspect, Jason, I Sam had asked me going into the event, are you concerned about getting there so late? And I'm like, yeah, probably. But also, we had two new guys, a returning competitive player, or I don't know what you would put. I don't know where you would put Jeremy in there, but we had a Jeremy come back and play with us, and we had a new guy local that went to his first competitive event at this weekend, and they didn't get off work until late. And I said, you know what? I would much rather have gotten there about 2.5 hours earlier than we did on Friday night. But we also got new players to come out and play, and that is the most important part, is growing this game and building a community.
Exactly. And there were several new players there this weekend. which is fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think they showed, like, PJ took a poll during, I think, like, the lunch break. There was a significant amount of people that was, like, their first competitive event, or it was, like, within their first 5 competitive events, which is great to see.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. All right, so we didn't do any questions for this episode, nor did we do questions for our last episode.
Well, it was kind of a last-minute thing.
Yeah, it's been a last-minute thing to do all this stuff.
We had a busy weekend. I mean, besides just the Clix, we partied at the concert and.
Oh gosh, yeah.
You guys went to a concert?
Yeah,
we went and saw Billy Roll Sunday night.
Yeah. No, yeah, not only that, Jason and I went to a concert. We got back Saturday night about midnight. And
I got home about 1 o'clock Saturday night. Yeah.
And then Jason and I went to a concert and got home at about midnight again on Sunday night, and then went to work. Needless to say, I was a bit dragging on Monday morning, but I survived.
Danielle and I got home at about 3 in the morning, Monday morning, and I had to go to work that day.
Oh.
That was rough.
I bet.
Teams took a lot longer than we expected, so we ended up not even getting on the road to get home until probably 7 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And it's like a 6-hour drive. Well, it's an hour drive back to Kokomo, so we had to go back to PJ's place to pick up the rest of our stuff that we had left there. And then a 6-hour drive from Kokomo to Pittsburgh.
Wow. Y'all really did the deed there, right?
Yeah, and I'll give the big shout out to Danielle. She was an absolute trooper. She did basically the whole drive home herself. I took over for a little bit. When we were like 2.5 hours out from home, I drove for maybe 20 minutes, and my brain said, "Oh, you think what?" And my brain started to really like kind of shut down because I played a lot of Clix this weekend. Because after Saturday, I also then Jalen, Jay, and I got to the top 2 in the teams event. So we ended up playing a lot of Clix.
Yeah. But what I was going to say was, to round out, we had a super busy weekend. We didn't really intend on recording tonight. This was all kind of last minute. So we did not do our typical community questions. But, it wasn't on purpose that we didn't do that. It's just we've had a crazy weekend, and we appreciate all of y'all listening to Clixed Off. Let's move to final thoughts. Jason, final thoughts?
Modern was very fun to play. It's in a good place. Too bad it's going to get ruined by Beetlejuice, probably, because it was great as it was. It was nice to see Masters of Time get its time to shine and not just skip over it for the next few months like it would have normally happened.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Had we not had this great event. Modern is a big draw, as you can see from the attendance.
Yep. And as final thoughts?
Yeah, I'll second that. Modern was a fantastic experience. Seeing, again, Masters of Time have its kind of shine. I'm quote-unquote looking forward to playing in States just because I just love playing Clix. But I'm more looking forward to the Champion Clix events that got announced, that hopefully we get the location soon. But more Modern around the corner. Hopefully Beetlejuice never shows up to it.
Yeah, agreed. I think that pretty much is it. I am unbelievably excited for the announcement from Champion Clix and what they have to bring to bear to the scene over the winter time frame. And I really hope we see a lot of great venues getting to host those events and some good prizes. But other than that, I hope to see some of y'all at some states. And again, as you round out this episode, I understand that my initial segment of this show may cause some controversy or some conversations or maybe even some DMs to me. But if you have any thoughts or concerns about the initial segment, feel free to DM me, and y'all can leave this episode knowing that Clixed Off will never be disingenuous to its fan base. We will not be silenced when we think that something will not grow this community or does not benefit the growth and benefit of competitive play and new players into competitive play. Clixed Off was founded on the belief that there are no secrets. Competitive play should be something that people can get into and have a community. And if we think that something doesn't promote that for various reasons, and in this case, the technical reasons of design and rules changes over the years, as I explained in the first part of the show, we will talk about that. For whatever detriment to our viewership or listenership that may cause, I don't know. But if you like what you hear today on Clixed Off, be sure to let us know. Thank y'all for listening, and we'll talk to y'all next time.
Later.